Hey friends, hopefully you can see me. I'm not really sure if you can. Anyways, so I just woke up. It's Saturday morning. It was about 7:30 and my friend texted me to go meet up with her for breakfast. So I'm gonna head over there, and then she just got a hot tub in her backyard, so we might hit the hot tub afterwards. And then afterwards I might hit the beach or go hiking. But I just got back from my trip and I feel inspired just to film more and do more, and I'm in a growth mindset and just feeling super inspired. And so I read that to find a mentor in life and find somebody who's doing what you want to do with your life and learn from them, emulate what they're doing. I mean, don't try to be them, just learn from them. Because you can only be yourself, friends. You can only be yourself. And so the person that I have been admiring lately and I want to mentor me is this guy named Garrett G from the Bucket List family. And he is a very interesting character, but I just really like him and his family, his wife and their kids. And basically what they do is they go around and travel full time, and they're married. They got 3 kids, and it's just them kind of documenting their journeys on all of their travels, and they just travel full time. That's what they do. It's just fascinating to watch them on YouTube. You should check them out if you're not following them. I just really like who they are and their value, and learning, you know, watching the interviews that he's done on the internet. And basically there's 2 things that he kind of gives advice about, and they are, the first one is staying true to who you are, which I think is great sound advice, and the second one is develop a skill. And so the skill that I want to be doing is storytelling. I love storytelling. If it's a monologue style, vlogging, or creating a video, or just speaking, I just love it. I find it so fun and fascinating. So obviously the only way I can improve that skill is to practice. So I think you're going to start seeing me do a lot more videos, and just so I can get practice to learn how to start getting better at it. Adobe Premiere. So I'm going to start learning how to do that and start editing my videos there. So I have a lot of growth to do, and I'm excited to, you know, just start practicing and playing around with shooting more videos because I enjoy it. It's fun to do. So I'm going to be taking you guys along on my journey. I probably every weekend I'll be trying to upload a new video. But I have a ton of footage from my trip, which I have yet to go through and edit. But I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. So right now I'm heading to my girlfriend Danny's, well, not her house. We're just going to go eat at breakfast at the mall near her home in Windward Mall. Seriously, look at this view from the mall. So beautiful. I'm vlogging now. I'm just gonna say hi. Yeah, it's a camera. It's a GoPro.
Oh, cute.
I know, right? This is Danny and this is Legend.
Hi.
To make a long story short, basically I didn't go back to her house to hit the jacuzzi. But since I'm on the east side of the island, I am going to my favorite beach. But I don't want to stay here for over an hour because I need to make it back to town. And then tonight we're heading to the Doris Duke Theater at the Honolulu Museum of Arts. And they're playing a documentary called, I think it's actually called Albatross. And it's about the toll that single-use plastic is taking on the environment and the animals and the mammals that live in the environment. So I think the movie starts at 4, so it is going on 1 o'clock now. So yeah, an hour here, and then I'll be rushing back home to shower and get to the movie tonight. Hey friends, hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy here. But so I bought my sunblock. This is a safe sunblock to use in the ocean. It doesn't harm the coral reef. It's called Badger. And it doesn't have the I forget the name. Octinoxate and oxybenzone. So yeah, And actually, Hawaii just passed a bill that the sunscreens aren't allowed to have that in them anymore. So I think that bill just got passed in May, so I don't know when that law will actually start going into effect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Okay, friends, so I'm reading this book. It's called Tribes by Seth Godin. It's a good book. I find it very interesting. But I've been reading it here. Oh man, I got sand all over my book. That's what happens when you read in nature. And the elements. So I think there's a very interesting paragraph, and I would just like to share it with you. So he's talking about learning a new skill. So I'm going to read it to you. Is it recording? Yes. Okay. I hope you can hear me because it's super windy, but I have my bag blocking, so hopefully you can hear me. If you watch kids learning to grow... Oh, no. If you watch kids learning a new skill, you'll see that the secret to developing the skill isn't about building their muscles or learning some exotic technique. It is merely about developing the faith that it will work. Merely, of course, is a huge step. It's nothing but a few neurons worth of faith, just the knowledge that you can do it. But without faith, the leap never works. Faith is critical to all innovation. Without faith, it's suicidal to be a leader. I think that's a very interesting concept, and I think it's true. Like, why even do something if you don't believe that it's going to work, you know? So now I need to hurry up and get some dry clothes on and then race back to town to make it to the documentary in time tonight. Okay, I made it here. I have 3 minutes to spare. I have to get my socks. Where's my socks? Okay. Okay. I'm doubting I can film in there, but I will let you know how the documentary goes and what I learned. See you soon. Okay, so I went to the documentary. It's very beautiful, but also very sad. And he went in and documented all the albatross on the Midway Atoll, and they're just beautiful. He has such beautiful images, and he got great footage, like just so up and close and personal. And I guess he was saying that the albatross never had an enemy. They never had a predator on the island, so they're very trusting birds. And they let him get super close, like even to their babies. Like as the egg was hatching, he was filming the bird. It takes 2 days for the birds to come out of the egg, just coming out of it. And it was just so beautiful. He has such beautiful footage of them. But then, of course, he showed the opposite and of the problem that we're dealing with, which is all this plastic that's just showing up in their stomach. But it's like beautiful because they mate for life, and they do this kind of mating dancing ritual. And after several seasons of doing this dance, like they mirror each other. And he like showed this in slow motion, and it was so beautiful to watch them just mimic each other, these two birds. And they, like I said, mate for life, and they live, normally they would live till they're about 60 years old. That's their lifespan. And what's interesting is, so they go to they live on the ocean, on the Pacific. They don't live on land, but they go to land to give birth to their babies. And what happens is they feed them until they get a certain age, the babies, and then once the parents give the feeding to the baby, their last feeding, all the parents leave the babies, and it's up to the babies to survive. And they have to purge everything that's in their stomach. So anything that the mom and the father had fed them, they have to purge it out of their system in order for them to be able to take flight and fly to the Pacific Ocean. And after this flight, they'll be living on the ocean for 3 to 5 years, and they'll only come back to land as an adult to give birth, which is really interesting that these birds are living in the ocean. But it's sad because they're trying to purge up all this plastic, and some of them will survive and they'll be able to do it, but some of them won't. They can't get the plastic out of their body, so they'll just die, and they need their stomach to be empty in order for them to take flight and leave the land and develop being able to fly into the ocean. And so it was so beautiful to see these birds. And first of all, I'm going to put the link because the movie is free for everybody, which is it's really cool that he did that. So you can download it for free and watch it. I'll put the link in the description so you can see this movie because it is beautiful. But then, okay, so at the ending of the movie, of course, I'm feeling, at the ending of every documentary, I always go and watch these documentaries and then I feel just completely depressed and hopeless. I don't know why I keep going to these movies, but I guess I just want to know. I think it's good to know to be aware of what's going on. But then I leave feeling hopeless, like so sad. All this plastic that's ending up in the animal stomachs and it's just killing them. And so at the ending, they had a panel of experts in their field. Of course, I raised my hand and I want some kind of action. Like, give me a call to action so I can at least do something. And basically he said he doesn't want to give that because he thinks that when people do that, it's just, they'll do one thing and then it's like masking the problem. So he basically told me that you need to figure out for yourself and maybe get involved with other groups. But besides eliminating my single-use plastic and maybe, doing beach cleanups, like, I want an answer. But that's where the problem lies. It's a very complex problem. Plastic in our oceans and in the environment and these animals and the mammals. And if the bottom line is, if we knew the answer and we had a solution, we would not have a problem. There's no solution to the problem. I mean, obviously we need to change our behavior, but for me, as one person trying to do something about it, it's just depressing. I guess you just have to, I don't know. And the laws are trying to change things, but that doesn't really help the problem. It does in a small way, but that's not eliminating the problem. And I don't know what the solution is. But we can't just keep doing what we're doing. Obviously, we need to change as a society as a whole. Hopefully, one day we'll just eliminate plastic altogether. But I think we're far from that happening anytime soon. At least most of our recyclables from Hawaii, from the US, go to China, and China is now changing their laws and they're not taking the recyclables, from what I understand, which is going to have to make us rethink how we're going to handle all this plastic. So that is the ending of my Saturday. I'm tired. It's only, I think 8:30. I'm about to go home and take a nap. I'm about to eat some dinner and go home and probably be in bed by 9:30 because I'm exhausted. I don't know why, but every time I go to the beach, I feel tired. I don't even know why, but I do. So, have a good night. Bye.